Hey guys, Fishing Kit here. Really quick before we get started on today's podcast, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that MaPop Fishing and I have been working on a partnership with a company, I'd say, to help us improve what we do. I'm not going to go into any deep details or anything yet, but we plan on launching early 2021, January 2021. So it isn't too far away. It not only benefits us, it will also help you guys because it might lead to opportunities for, I don't know, let's say a giveaway. So make sure you follow us on social media to know what we've got in the works. I'll put links for all that stuff down below. Without further ado, let's talk ice fishing.
All right, let's get my beer ready. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Beerfish Fanatics. This is Grandy with MaPop Fishing. We have here,
Kit with the Fishing Kit YouTube channel.
and we are about to have some beer from Carol Brewing again. So, once again, like I said, I want to thank Bruno down there at Al Bait Shop at the Lucky Horse down there in Des Moines, Iowa. They actually are supporting us and donating some beer from Carol Brewing. So, thank you also, Carol Brewing. I am today, I don't know if you can see, drinking the Carol Mild. So, I'm gonna try this sucker out. And what are you drinking today, Kit?
Oh, I was talking about my IPAs, so I got the Carol IPA.
Nice.
7% alcohol.
Holy cow. So Kit's gonna be a little slurred speech, maybe. Nah, just kidding. But no,
Maybe.
like I said though, if you guys haven't checked out Carol Brewing, definitely do it. It's amazing beer. We've had a couple of them already, and also check out El Bait Shop. Check out Lucky Horse, and I want to take Fishing Kit there when we get an opportunity when this COVID thing kind of goes down a little bit. I took my wife there, so great food, great atmosphere, great beer. Obviously, they have tons on tap. So, like I said, thank you so much, Bruno, on this one, and cheers, Fishing Kit.
Check out my new mug, everybody.
Anybody, so anybody who's listening to this on our podcast and anybody who's watching this on YouTube, obviously you can see we got some Beerfish Fanatic mugs nowadays. So we're stepping up our game a little bit. Try not to look too honestly, just drink out of a mug because that's what Bruno said. He said drink beer out of craft beer out of a cup, right?
A mug or glass. We're less of a savage drinking out of cans.
There you go. And but anyways, if you guys want to grab a mug, these we actually got two of them. One of them is I think it's like a 11-ounce coffee mug, and this one is a 15-ouncer, 15 or 16-ouncer, I forgot. Just go to mapopfishing.com, scoop you guys up one, get a mug. Also, that will help support this show somewhat, a little bit, because it'll give us some chump change to try and get more beer to drink and more fishing stuff, right?
Right on.
There you go, man. So this week it's getting pretty damn cold, and we got ice seasons around the corner. I don't know when this episode will air, but most likely ice is, if not here, it will be here pretty darn soon. Fishing Kit and myself want to talk a little bit about how you can start to get geared up for ice fishing and the type of stuff you need to get if you're brand new to the sport. Even if you're been ice fishing for so long, I think you can always add some new gear, new safety equipment. So first things first, ice picks, definitely a must. I would say a spud bar, and what else, kid? I would say actually a floating suit. That was probably one of the things that I didn't purchase at the very beginning that I wish I had. I think that's probably the best investment is ice suit. Number one, it keeps you warm because the way they're designed nowadays, they're super warm. And I think it's just was it ease that mind in case if you ever crack through the ice, you'll float because these suckers are designed to float in the water, and especially if it's ice cold water. I just recommend that. Ice picks and spud bar, and what else, Kit? Would you recommend?
Cleats.
Cleats. That's a
Because that
must.
that without cleats, especially if there's no snow on the ice, you're not gonna have any traction. Like cleats, I mean, I've slipped with cleats on. It can happen. There's actually in one of my videos.
Yeah. So why don't you do this on this episode, Kit? Why don't you post a link to that episode of him slipping? And I've had that happen. You slip when I actually even had one. I lost one of my cleats on one of my shoes, and I had one, and a shoe that didn't have it, and I slipped on that. And you're spot on, man. It's like you slip. And sometimes when you slip, you don't literally fall on your butt. You fall on your butt and your head can hit the ice. And
Yeah.
concussions can happen. It's very dangerous. And you're right. Cleats are a must because if you, not all the time you're going to have snow that help you with the traction. So I would say would you say that's about 5 the most safety precaution things I would say?
A rope, like early and late ice.
I agree. Rope just in case. And then
And be able to throw that rope too, like tie it on to something.
yeah. I think also another
Like a
thing
throw
is
rope. It should be
throw
should
rope.
be
That's
more
it.
what I'm talking about.
And the other thing, Fishing Kid bringing that up is great, is that if you're gonna go on first ice, I highly recommend don't go alone. Take somebody with you, because where the hell are you gonna throw that throw rope to if nobody's with you? So it's one of those things I really do recommend not going alone. Check the ice, make sure. And this is the thing about first ice too. I mean, obviously it's strongest, but the thing is, some people say, I'm cool with 3 inches of ice. I'm cool with 4 inches of ice. Go whatever you're comfortable with. I recommend at least 4 inches. Some people are okay with 3, but use that spud bar. And when you spud bar around. And it's one of those things where I've actually been on ice where it's 4 inches. And then I literally go about 5 feet and hit, and it just goes right through. So
yeah, last season was like that because we had that like cold and warm periods.
yeah, it's yeah, man, I'm telling you, dude, it freaked me out, man, because I was like, dude, it's 4 inches, whatever. I drilled, and then I literally thank goodness I did. I went over there and it hit, and it was probably half an inch. So and practice with your spud bar. The biggest thing I really recommend when I say practice with your spud bar, every hit should take like use the same amount of force on every hit that you can, because then you can determine if I got to a point where if I hit one, I knew it was at least almost close to an inch per hit. So I hit 1, 2 at the same spot 5 times, that's 5 inches. You know what I'm saying? So practice your spud bar and hit the same spot, and just know, how hard you're hitting in regards to the force wise. So
Yeah. Actually try to break the ice. Don't use it as like a walking stick where you're just kind of just tapping it along lightly.
yeah.
Because 2 inches of ice, it ain't gonna go through if you're just using like a walking stick, just tapping along the ice. But you're actually just going like driving that thing into the ice.
Yeah. So up here in central Iowa, ice is, like I said, is around the corner. And just like I said, be careful, be safe. Let us know wherever you guys going to go ice fishing to, because maybe Fishing Kid and myself will join you guys. Number one, if the bite is hot, if you guys know something we don't know, let us know. But like I said, safety is always the best thing. We always hear on the news, and that's the thing. We don't want to give ice fishing a bad rap. As long as you use best judgment, safety first. I mean, we all want to get on ice. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? But if it's only an inch and a half, 2 inches, I mean,
It kind of makes the rest of us look bad if people are like reckless going out there. I think every year somebody goes through, and like not everybody makes it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of depressing.
Yes. And
if anything, just wait. If you're unsure, just wait till like the middle of the season.
It's one of those things. If you have to ask yourself, is this worth it? 99.9% is not worth it. If you have to ask yourself, like, is this worth for me to walk to go catch a 9-inch bluegill? I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you can wait an extra day or two, then it gets a little bit colder to build the ice. And there's all kinds of science formulas on how fast ice builds and everything. So just so everybody knows, I can give a quick tutorial how ice builds. Well, not how ice builds, but and the thing is, how ice is formed is we got to have the body of water cap over. And for it to cap over first, obviously the water has to be super cold. And then on top of that, we got to have freezing temperatures and no wind, because the wind will create waves, will make it longer before it caps. And if we have no wind and it's frigid temperatures, it will create the ice quite a bit faster. And then, it just builds from that point forward. So the capping is the biggest thing. So once our body of waters can cap, then the ice can crate underneath it, and you don't have to worry about the wind too much because wind doesn't come in. And that's the thing. Wind has no effect on the ice creation once it's capped. So that's the biggest thing. That's why you want the body of water to cap first. So then it can be literally 10 degrees. And if it's 100 miles an hour wind, it still will build ice. However, if it doesn't cap and it's 10 degrees and it's 50 miles an hour, it will not cap and ice can't build. So just kind of give everybody a heads up on that. And then don't ask for snow, at least not at the beginning.
Snow is bad for making ice.
Yes, snow is horrible. So everybody's like, oh, the thing is ice fishing, because I was telling my coworkers this last year, is like, you just want snow. I go, hell no. Snow is the worst thing when it comes to creating ice. Now, this is the thing about snow. Once we create ice, snow is great. But this is the thing. It works as an insulation. Snow works as an insulation both ways. So this is the thing. Let's just say there is 7 inches of ice that's already created. If we had a big snowstorm, that 7 inches of ice will last quite a bit longer because the snow insulates that ice. So then if you have a couple days that's 40 or 50 degrees, it'll melt the snow, will do nothing to the ice. Now, if let's just say we have 2 inches of ice and a huge snowstorm comes and we get 6 inches of snow, that ice will not form as fast. And the reason being is because it's blocking out the coldness of the weather, because you can have literally 0 degrees temperature and ice will barely build because that snow will use as insulation from the ice to build. So it's a double-edged sword on that. So just kind of give you, like Fishing Kit was saying, we don't want snow at the beginning at all. Tell you the truth, I'd
rather not have snow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We could actually just have no snow.
Couple inches I'm okay with.
Actually, snow would be good towards the end of ice season.
Towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and only if we have about 7 inches of ice or more, 6 inches of ice or more, and then if we had a ton of snow at the end of the ice season, it'd be perfect. It'll actually extend most likely our ice season another week or two, just for people to know on that. So hopefully some people learn about that a little bit. I mean, you guys can look it up. For I think I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago, I got really into how the hell ice made and how, all that stuff. I actually Googled and I became one of those freaks that just kind of like, no, I should be able to go ice fishing in the snow, and that kind of figured it out. So it was definitely true on that, man. So let's talk about ice fishing, I guess, on this episode a little bit. Okay, what's your goal this year, man, for ice season?
Hold on, actually I want to go back to snow a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
And another thing is, with no snow on the ice, you can see what the ice is doing, like the condition of the ice. If there's snow on top, you can't see, because the strongest ice is the clear black ice, where you basically just see right through it, and then you can see like there's gonna be like pressure cracks and whatnot. Then you can kind of judge how thick the ice is without drilling through. But if there's snow on top of all that, or if there's like a patch of thin ice and there's snow on top of it, you can't really see it.
Yeah.
And another thing,
you're
thing with snow is if there's a lot of snow, it's gonna push that ice down like beneath the water line, and then that's not gonna help the ice at all if it's underwater. And then when you're trying to fish, you're basically walking around in slush because the ice is underneath the water. And it was, what was it, like up at Big Creek? I don't want to say last year, but the year before, we had like, I want to say it was like 10 inches of snow or something. Went out there, just basically you're basically walking in the water on top of the ice. So that's kind of scary.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that. The snow, and the thing is when you're pulling, okay, so this is for the people who don't have snowmobiles. So when you're pulling your sled, when you have a ton of snow, imagine you walking on just even 6 inches of snow. If you want to walk like half a mile or a mile, and you've got 100 pounds of gear and you're pulling it, yeah, that snow sucks. Now, ice don't like Fishing Kit was saying, though, if you have ice, ice picks.
It's picks? Spud bar?
No, what the heck am I thinking? No,
cleats.
God, couldn't think about it. Man, too much beer fish fanatics, but too much. Anyways, if you have cleats, if it's ice, you can pull that thing so simple and easy, but you make sure you got cleats. But yeah, that's the only bad thing about snow too. It's a pain in the ass to pull all your gear if you're especially if you're looking to be mobile. I think snow is definitely sucks if you're trying to be mobile and find a fish. That definitely puts a damper in regards to how far, how often you move, I would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, man. I jumped the gun a little bit. I was just excited. Ice is
It's okay.
around the corner. What is your goal? What's your goal this year for ice season? Because I think a couple years ago your goal was let's catch a wiper, and then damn, you got it on. And then
Yep.
last year, I think you did. You're like, I want to catch catfish. I want to catch a
Yep.
good catfish. And you got that. So what's your goal this year, man?
Goal for 2020, 2021 season. I think camp out on the ice more. That's doable. Let me try to pick a harder challenge. New species would always be a good pick.
Yeah. Well, you can't.
What's
You camped out last year. That one, I think, within one episode on one of your
one?
videos, right?
Yeah, I did one night on the ice.
Okay. You want to camp more than one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like more than one occasion.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I mean,
New
well,
species. I wonder. See, I'm trying to think of what new species I should try to target this year. I mean, I think pike would be one. I never caught pike through the ice.
pike or muskie.
Well, yeah, I think
You know,
pike is more doable.
sure. Well, yeah. I guess I agree with you. And if you want to, but then I think we're gonna have to go to
We're gonna have to travel.
yeah, travel a little bit. My goal is, I think this year is to catch. Well, I kind of have two goals. I want to obviously I want to catch at least a double digit catfish if I can. If not, close
Like
to it.
double digit weight.
Yeah.
I don't even think I caught a double digit
Oh,
weight
you
through
didn't?
the ice.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be my goal. I'm not saying I'm gonna
How
get
about you
it.
just catch a catfish through the ice first?
All right. I'll catch a catfish. Okay. So
Then you
you're
can
gonna,
worry about the weight later.
fine. You're gonna take me this year. You're gonna take me because I want to catch a catfish wherever you're at. So hopefully I can at least catch a decent edible size catfish if I can. And then my second goal is I want to try at least four new different bodies of water. I think we always fish. I mean, we ice fish similar bodies of water. I think last year I tried a few new ones. Last couple of years with you, I think you were kind of expanding out a little bit
Yeah,
too.
I've been. Yeah, I guess that'd be another good goal. Try
Yeah,
to
just
expand the
yeah.
lakes.
If not four, at least three for the year. I think it'd be kind of. I think that's feasible if we do three new lakes or just new bodies of water. Just to,
Easy, man. I already
see,
got like a few lists
hey,
or a few lakes I want to hit up this season.
it's hard for someone like me. When I go ice fishing, I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited. I have to plan, like I have to make sure all the schedule matches up with the kids and the true boss. So I got to make sure that it's allowed that I can go to certain spots or whatnot, or at least like you're saying, if we're gonna travel, then to make sure I can actually do that. But yeah, I think that's a good goal. I think we should definitely travel. And I kind of want to go up north a little bit if we can this year. The reason being is because I think they have other species that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the pike. I think we'd have to go north for that.
I agree. We should try that. We'll try that a couple times. And anybody who's listening to this, if you guys up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or northern Iowa, I mean, we want to catch some, like he was just saying, we want to catch some pike or muskies or anything through the ice or just any different species that we don't have here in central Iowa. I mean, hit us up, message us. We're just a bunch of dudes that love to fish, and we would love to if you guys could guide us on there and show us a good time and find species that we've never caught. Because I'd be super excited if we can just, like you said, just to travel to a new body of water and catch a new species. I think it'd be super exciting. So
Yeah.
that'll be a pretty good goal for us this year. What else, man? What else do you want to do this ice season? Anything
I
the
think
camping? Anything else?
yeah, I want to do more of the camping on the ice thing, and I guess I want to refine my new favorite ice species, the catfish and wipers. If I can hone in on those two species more, I think
Mhm.
that'd be good. Especially both catfish and wipers.
Yeah.
If I could fine tune like catching them through the ice, I'd feel pretty accomplished.
Yeah. I think I kind of want to catch more wipers. I think last year I didn't catch as many at all. Real, I think it maybe caught.
Same for me.
I don't know. I just didn't have a great ice season last year.
Did you catch any wipers last year?
I'm trying to think, man. I might not have. I targeted it, obviously, but
Yeah.
no, I don't think. I didn't. I don't know if I caught that many, if at all, last year. But I know, obviously, the year before. I mean, I was super excited, super stoked. But you got to get me back on them, man.
I got to get myself back on them. It was
Right.
it was a struggle last year.
Yeah, we gotta try that. It was I don't know. I wonder, the bite just wasn't the same through the ice last year in Central Iowa. That's what I'm saying. We might have to. I mean,
Yeah,
for you,
last winter was weird.
yeah, it was. It was definitely a little bit weird, and I think this year is gonna be a. I mean, for people who don't ice fish, I'm sorry. I have a feeling this year is gonna be a rough winter. I think it's gonna be really good for the ice fishing people in regards to ice. I think it's gonna create a lot. I think Central Iowa is gonna have quite a bit. I could be wrong, but I just have a one of those weird feelings. I think we're gonna have ice till March. I really do.
I'm in a different camp. I got no expectations,
All right,
but I'll take it. I'll take it for what it is.
we're put a bet on it. Okay. I think we'll have ice till March.
Like Central Iowa, talking like Des Moines area,
Um, at least Clear Lake.
Clear Lake to March. That I think that's normal for Clear Lake.
All right, Central Iowa. We'll put a bet on this. So anybody who's listening to this, comment down below on Fishing Kits, and people who are listening on the podcast or whatnot. If you want to just jump on and on our Facebook or Instagram, let us know. What should we bet on? I think ice is going to be here, Central Iowa, till March.
Like the first week of March.
Yep, first week of March. I believe we're gonna have ice. I think I'm not wishing for us to have a horrendous winter or anything, but I just think that we're just gonna have enough of a cold front or cold whatever winter that it's gonna build so much ice that we're gonna have ice till
See,
March, man.
I think that's pretty conservative of a guess.
What?
First week of March.
How long you want to give me to? You want me to do middle March? Oh boy, that's tough.
If you want to push it, I would. If I were you, I'd say third week of March.
Third week of March? Oh my gosh.
No,
All right,
second week. I'll give you the second week of March.
March 14th.
Just go 15th. I'll do March 1st. I'll do March 1st. You do the 15th. How about that?
Well, what
2
do we
weeks.
Okay, we don't know what we're gonna bet on. Okay, so we'll let whoever listens to this. What should we bet on? Whether it's beer,
Yeah. What's the wager?
we don't know, because we tend to like to do wagers here and there. So
I usually lose when I start betting.
so we'll try this. No, I don't know. You can ask our buddies. I don't have a good track record when it comes to betting while drinking, so trust me on that. But I think we're gonna have ice until March 15th. So
All right.
if I'm wrong, let me know what let us know, comment below, or like I say, follow us on our Facebook and Instagram. Let us know what you guys recommend us to put the wager on the ice, if it's gonna last till then. So, and don't worry, Fishing Kid still has to do his donkey kicks. Trust me, I still remember from that I don't know if the people who've been watching all of our podcasts. Thank you so much, listeners. Thank you so much, watchers. But
Shout outs to Ed Brown. I know you watch him all, Ed.
There you go. So this guy still has to do his stinking donkey kicks that he's owed for cracking a bottle and dropping it and spilling it all over. So he still has to owe that, and he knows that. We might just do it on the ice one day. Who knows? We're gonna do, because I think. Oh yeah, my other goal. I'm sorry, I almost forgot, dude. I want to be able to do this podcast while we're on the ice. I think.
Yeah.
That was one of my goals, is to do not a live. I mean, we could do live. I mean, we can figure that out if we.
It depend on the reception and stuff.
And it won't be as great, obviously, quality if we do a live, because it's going to be straight off the phone. So I don't know if you guys want that. Let us know. If you guys want us to do some live podcasts, it's definitely something we talked about a little bit, but wasn't sure if people were actually wanting to do something, watch us, listen to us live, because it's obviously a lot easier to listen or watch us at your own time. But if you guys want to hear us, watch us live, let us know. I mean, we can try that. It'd be kind of cool. We go ice fishing, do it live. It could happen. And but yeah, that was my thing. Do a podcast live while we ice fishing and catch fish. We still haven't done that yet. Like I was saying, that was still one of our biggest goals, is to catch a fish while doing a podcast, because I don't think anybody's ever done that. So
Yeah.
we got to do it, man. We got to do it before somebody else like, oh, we beat those guys, suckers. I don't know. Anyway, let me know, man. Fact check me if somebody already caught a fish while doing a podcast. I don't think it's happened, because I don't think anybody's crazy and stupid as us.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think anyone has.
I don't think so. I mean, I looked around. I literally searched like as many fishing podcasts as I could. I don't think anybody's actually ever caught a fish live, because typically when you're doing a podcast, you're talking, not fishing. We can multitask. We did it once.
Yeah.
We did it twice, guys. We did 2 episodes. We didn't catch fish.
No,
But
we got a bad track record right
we got
now.
we got a bad track. You're right. You're right, man. But other thing was I want to talk a little bit more. We have do we have some, yeah, we had a little bit of time. I want to talk a little bit more about other gears that you may need for ice fishing. If you can, if you want, get a shack. Obviously that will help in regards to if you have a family, if you want to take kids out, to have to get out of the elements if it's a little bit too cold, too windy. That would be another thing you definitely should, I guess, you can get splurge on. Also, you're gonna need an auger. I would highly recommend nowadays. I don't. Do they even sell? I mean, I'm pretty sure they do. They sell gas augers still. I highly recommend.
Yeah, I don't
Go.
think gas augers aren't going away. They're
Okay.
not going away.
My thoughts are on that is like the technology nowadays, the battery, operated augers, they work just as good, quieter, and I think they last longer than the gas. Well, I don't know if they last longer than the
No,
gas
I
augers.
don't know about that. I
Yeah,
mean, it
but
depends on your battery, but your batteries, you're talking like a 9 amp battery is like $200-300 just
true.
the battery.
But also keep in mind, a gas auger is extremely heavy versus if you just take an auger. Actually, the augers that I have is just we have a clam, drill. I have a drill and it's just a clam adapter, and super easy, super convenient if you guys want to do that. But just make sure you guys, whatever you do, get an auger. Make sure you can even do a hand auger. I mean, it's just make sure you got good blades on it and you're fine. And
Good
then
blades and strong arms.
yeah, but okay, so we can tell the story. So anybody's listening to this. So the story was when I first really got fishing kid into ice fishing.
Oh, dude.
And I got, and this is the first time that I really got into ice fishing. I forgot, it was like 6-7 years ago. And so I had no idea. I got a hand auger, like, oh, it's gonna be awesome. I'm like, bigger the better, right? So I got an 8-inch regular hand auger. Okay.
There's an 8-inch Mora. I remember.
Yes. And the thing is, it was brand new. I was like, how hard could it be? 8-inch. All right, guys. I'm telling you guys right now, go out there when ice season starts. If you get an 8-inch hand auger, good luck drilling more than 10 holes that day.
Yeah, especially if you're talking like 8+ inches of ice. Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, we did that. I think the first time I took fishing kit out. So I think it had like a foot. I think it was like
It
12
was
inches.
was it at Big Creek?
Yeah, I think that's
Oh, it was like 2 feet because
or-
there was trucks driving on the ice.
yeah.
Because that truck drove up and talked to us.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, what the hell is this guy doing driving up to us?
Yeah, so see, we didn't know any better. Like 12 inches of ice, and like he was saying, he was driving a truck, but the 12 inch of ice, and for us to hand auger,
2 feet, 2 feet of ice.
2 feet, yeah, it was almost 2 feet of ice. Let's just say this: we probably drilled at best maybe like no, not even like 5 holes each, because it
Yeah,
was
like one for me, one for you, and then we move spots, one for me, one for you.
that was about it, because it's a workout beyond a workout. So, but what I highly recommend if you're gonna fish, ice fish, first hand auger, if you're gonna get that, only get a 6-inch, get a laser.
At the most 6.
Yeah, don't go any higher. You can even go a 4 or 5 inches, even cool, because I'm telling you guys, that additional 2 inches, I'm telling you, the amount of effort, amount of torque that you have to do with your hand augering is not fun, especially if it's 6 inches or more. I agree. But we learned our lesson. It was one of those things where I was like, all right, I had to sell this thing, so I sold it to Mark.
Yeah, it's actually like an 8-inch auger is like even hard on like a power drill and stuff.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like, and this is the thing too. When an 8-inch, I mean, guys, at the end of the day, you don't need an 8-inch hole to land crappies, bluegills. You don't need an 8-inch hole to actually even land small white bass, even any panfish for that matter. 6 inches is more than enough for
6 inches is plenty for like most fish.
Yeah, you get, just imagine the girth. So if you're watching or listening to this, I mean, just imagine the girth of the fish. I mean, the fish that's at least in central Iowa or northern Iowa or in South Iowa, the girth of it's not going to be more than 6-7 inches. And even those are that big. I mean, it's very rare that you're going to find a species of a fish that's going to be that large, 8 inches. You guys got to think of that way. And then those guys who drill those 10-inch, please stop, because people fall in those 10-inch holes.
Especially kids. Like
I
kids.
know. Be
Well, even
careful.
an adult 10-inch hole, your freaking leg will go right through that.
I fell in one in Denver, in
Yeah,
Colorado.
Sean
Yeah.
had his whole leg
Yeah.
go through.
So, I mean, I guess, depending on what I don't know what the heck you're going to be catching for a 10-inch hole. I'll be honest with you guys. I have no idea. Honestly, there's really no benefit to a 10-inch hole unless you're catching monsters.
Right.
I mean, in reality.
And another thing with the smaller hole, like a 6-inch hole, if let's say you catch a crappie, if he pops off in the hole, that fish can't turn around and go down the hole if it's like a 6-inch hole versus like 8-inch hole, that fish pops off, he has room to turn around and he go back down the hole.
Yep.
That's another advantage of having a smaller hole.
So you have
when you ice fish, you're gonna lose fish. Like they're gonna pop off right in the hole.
Mhm.
And if you got like a big gaping 8-10-inch hole, that fish is gonna turn around, go right back down. But if it's like a 6-inch hole, he's gonna try to turn around, but he can't because it's the diameter is too small. Then you just reach down and grab the fish.
Yep. It gives you that split second to reach out and grab fishing kits right. And I'm telling you, every ice fisherman knows that heartbreak when you lose it right. Yeah. It is heartbreaking. Everybody knows it. Every ice fisherman knows it. Every new ice fisherman, you're gonna know it, because even if you have a 6-inch hole, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have it happen. It happens, and it's just like, it's depressing. So, but fishing kit's correct. It gives you that little time to possibly just reach down and grab it right before it goes down. But 8-inch, yep, you're right, it's gone. Good luck trying to get it again. But
yeah, unless you got like a huge fish.
Yeah.
But then a 6-inch hole is gonna be your problem with like a big ass fish, anyways.
Yeah. And then other thing I recommend, obviously getting so this is the thing. I recommend it, up to you. You don't have to. And if you have family, if you're just getting to ice fishing, you want to just go to, get the cheapest ice fishing poles you can. No big deal. I highly do recommend getting custom poles. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't buy any other poles anymore now, because I just feel the custom made poles, they're designed to what you want in regards to presentation, in regards to the fish that you're going after. So me and Fishing Kit here, we primarily use Saki Fishing. He's one of my vendors for MaPop Fishing. Is the reason why. I really do believe his quality is amazing work. But there you go.
Hey, Saki Fishing.
Saki Fishing. So giving Sean a shout out, but you know what? Get your orders in now. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how busy. I do know this. Orders are ramping up for him. He's a one-man show, and he builds, and he he takes his time. It's pure quality. So
he might be backed up by the time this launches.
That's true. So hit him up. If not, hit mypopfishing.com, and I'll try and get you guys I think I'll be carrying a few of his fishing poles and everything. But like I said, I highly do recommend ice fishing poles, custom made poles, because I think it's just, like I said, it's just the feel and just the confidence. I think when you're ice fishing, if you have a good pole, and a pole that's doing what you want it to do, and has enough backbone, has the finesse, has all that stuff, it all adds up. It's just worth it to me. If it catches me one or two more fish at the end of the day, I think I spent my money. I think it's worth it. But it's a lot cheaper than open water custom poles. I'll tell you guys that much. So open water custom poles can get up to the $500, $700, $800. Is ridiculous, because my in-laws are into that. But ice fishing poles, custom made poles, you can get really, really top quality ones for under $150, under $125. So I highly recommend that. Anything else you recommend for ice people getting into it, or who 1 or 2 seasons in, who want to advance their game?
Like if you're just getting into it, you might not want to dive into the custom rod thing, but if you kind of know what you want in a rod, I say you might as well go custom. Or if you can't afford one, you don't have to get a custom rod.
True. You don't have to.
You go out to Walmart and buy a $20 combo and still catch fish.
But don't do that. we support the small
Yeah.
small stores, guys,
Yeah.
local bait shops. You're gonna do
Yeah,
that.
get it from your bait shop
Yeah,
if you're
get it from.
gonna
I mean,
you're gonna get a combo.
I'm not telling you guys not to shop at the big box stores, but you can get the same pole. And you can say cheap one. Just go to the local bait shop, support
Yeah.
local. You can get probably a pole right there for like 20-30 bucks, if that. You know what I'm saying? So just go
Yeah.
do that.
At least you can talk to like the bait shop guy and he could
Yes.
tell you more about like the bite, like
Hmm.
maybe how to use that rod that you just picked up versus if you go to Walmart buy that same combo, you
Hmm.
just go there.
You,
Who do I talk to
yeah.
if I want to know about this? Nobody. You just
Yeah.
go check out, then you just go home and research, I suppose.
Yep. Nope. I agree with you. Definitely do that, guys. Go to the local bait shop and buy because, like, Fishing Kid said, they talk to other ice fishermen, so they'll know where the bite is or where it's hot. On top of that, they'll tell you, you should use this lure. This is what's biting over that lake, or you can tell them, like you're just saying, talk to them. They're full of knowledge. You're supporting locals, so that's not a bad thing. So definitely do that. But yeah, I think that's they give you knowledge that's priceless. That Walmart, even the big like Bass Pro. I mean, they might know the guys there that sell. I mean, I think they're slowly hiring people that have some knowledge in
Yeah,
regards to that.
I think they see like
Yeah,
the potential and like having knowledgeable staff. I think that's what
yeah,
Shields that's the good thing about Shields. Like they
yeah,
hire people that know kind of
yeah,
that department that they're working in.
yeah. You got to. I think you have to because I mean, if you're selling stuff that you don't know anything about, it's just like I say. At the end of the day, then you're just buying something from a Walmart
Yeah,
store. Like,
Walmart's like bottom
yeah.
of the barrel.
Like at least knowledge wise, not
Yeah.
knowledge in regards to that. I highly discount them. You won't get any knowledge there. And on top of that, like I said, you're gonna gain something. You go to a bait shop, you're gonna gain some type of knowledge. You might not use it today, but you can definitely figure out something later on. And most likely, they know where the hot bite is, or at least where most of the people are fishing, so they can tell you and what lures to probably use on that.
Yeah, because I like going into bait shops and just bullshit with the owners or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And then they'll just share, whatever we talk about with the next guy.
that's the thing. That's a cool thing about small businesses and locals that they are willing to share their knowledge and what they know to help you guys, and especially catch fish. I mean, especially if you're starting really to get into it, you don't know where to go. I mean, you can just be like, I'm just gonna go to a pond down the block. And that's the thing too. Make sure check out your city ordinance and all that stuff because I can tell you this because I live on the east side of Des Moines, Iowa, Pleasant Hill. We can't ice fish here, so
Oh, I want to ice fish
I
Copper
know.
Creek so bad,
Me
man.
too. Me too. But see, but that's the thing. So you guys make sure you guys check out the legalities of it, of your city and your city ordinance. If you can ice fish certain ponds, certain lakes around you, because sometimes you can't just go on, and just go and ice fish just because you see ice there. So make sure you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to get a ticket, because that will ruin your experience. And then most likely you're not going to go back and do it because you're gonna be like, this stinks and sucks. So make sure
Right.
you
Yeah.
check on that. And then I guess the only other thing, I mean, you can always add more stuff, everything from heaters, sleds, what kind of sleds. And I recommend getting shovels so she can shovel the ice and the snow. And
Yeah. A sled
there's,
would help with carrying all your gear.
yep, I would say that's probably one of a must have. A sled is a must have. The reason being is, I mean, unless you're going to hand carry everything and
Like
wherever you,
Denny, like that guy was walking out with a bucket, put his rods, everything in his bucket. It's
oh
just
boy.
for convenience. Like
Yeah.
just throw all your stuff in a sled. The only thing you got to worry about is maybe you got to carry one item in one of your hands if you got too much stuff for your
Yep.
sled. But you should be able to fit everything in your sled.
Yeah, I highly recommend a sled. They can get pricey, but worst comes to worst, you can always use a kid's sled. I
Yeah,
have.
it's like 10, $20.
Yeah, if that's the thing, okay, if ice fishing can probably be one of the cheapest sports or activities you do because you don't have to buy a $500 flasher. You don't have to buy a
Oh, wait, let's talk about
flasher. Oh, we
electronics.
knew. Hey,
We didn't talk.
we'll do that in the next episode, man. Because I gotta go get another beer. All right, so yeah, we'll continue right now. We're Fishing Kid and myself. We're just talking about we'll extend this episode. We'll talk more about the electronics and everything. But before we do that, we had to go get a quick refill. I'm doing the Carol Light now. try this out. Supposedly, because Bruno at El Bay Shop said this is really good. This is probably one of the better beers to have instead of like one of those cheap domestic big ones. I don't know, but I'm gonna try this. So, like I said, thank you so much to Carol Brewing and Bruno again for donating some beer to us to try and have on our podcast. What are you drinking right now?
I'm gonna switch up breweries on this
All
one.
right.
But Bruno did bring up this brewery, and that's kind of the reason why I bought this beer.
What's that one?
It's from Brewdog.
Oh yeah.
So they're based out of Scotland, but I think it was brewed like this beer itself came from.
Cheers, man.
It was brewed in the U.S., but the brewery started out in Scotland.
So anyone's wondering, definitely check this Carol Light out. So this is the thing. If you like Bud Light, Busch Light, Coors Light, Miller Light, those are big boys that, big corporation. Go get this, support local, especially even Central Iowa, if you can. But the others who don't live in Iowa, sorry, you guys are going to have to travel to Iowa to buy this, obviously, for now. This beer is actually really damn good for a light beer. It has a lot of crisp flavor. It's not too hot. It's just like a light beer, but it's not watered down.
Yeah. It'd be an easy beer for
I'm telling you, dude.
For the normies that
Yes.
drink the light lagers,
Yes.
which is your Bud Lights, Busch Lights, Coors Lights, things like that.
So I highly recommend you guys. Oh man, I am not lying. I can drink this one all day.
Oh yeah, mine's a tangerine session IPA.
Nice.
So session IPAs is for those of you that wanna, I guess, step up your beer game.
So we were talking ice fishing, and we just obviously it's ice is here around the corner, but we're jumping in real quick about the electronics. And this is the thing: if you're getting to ice fishing, I mean, it is a expensive item, but you can get some cheaper electronics that will just get a regular flasher that I think you can get on for $200, and it can just get you to just the bare minimum. What you need is you can see your fish, the lure, and you can see a fish if it's a column, if it's chasing it up or not. You can get those for under $200. I think Markham has them. The troll, I used to have one of those, so you can get those.
Oh, the what's it called?
Is it the
troller or something?
Yeah, something like that. I had that originally just for anybody, if I had a spare person to come. But I mean, I would say I highly recommend it. It will make your ice fishing more enjoyable. And it helps obviously to land more fish, but it's not a necessity to ice fish. You can always ice fish without it, but
it's just more information for you as an angler.
Yes,
the more information you have, the easier it is on you.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's fun, man. At the end of the day, girls and guys, my girls loved it because it's like a video game, and it's, because you can see your lure, you can see if there's fish there or not. And that's the thing too. You can see if there's fish there or not. And if there's no fish there, you don't want to stay there for 4 hours in 0-degree temperature if there's no fish there. So it helps in that sense too. Like I said, I highly recommend it. It's not required. But what would you say if somebody's looking to buy a flasher electronics? Okay, what would you recommend? Okay, we'll start at the beginning. I'm getting to ice fishing. What would you recommend? I say I have a $200 to $300 budget. What would you say for them to get or to do?
I think the best piece of advice for somebody that's getting into ice fishing is to go with somebody that's experienced. That is the best piece of advice I could give somebody.
Yep, I agree.
Because they're gonna have, the experience, the knowledge, the gear. So if you're curious about flashers, odds are they're gonna have a flasher. Like if I invite somebody new with me, they want to wonder about, my rod, my custom rods, the flasher I'm using, like my tents, things like that. Go with somebody that has all that stuff. It's gonna be right there, and you can see it in action. I think that's the best way to get into it. Just go with somebody experienced.
I agree with you. Actually, a lot of my buddies who all got into ice fishing, I took them. I had all the gear and stuff already, so it helps, and just knowing what to get. But no, you're right. I think it makes it more enjoyable because they know what they're doing. At least they know. Most of the time they're going to take you to a spot where they've caught fish. So that helps too, number one. Number two, they have the equipment, so you don't have to technically purchase it, a ton of anything. all you need to do is, we always tell, right, Kit? Anybody who comes who's never ice fish, who wants to get into ice fish or try it, we just tell them, just bring warm clothes, layer up, and we have everything else.
And
So
then that way you can gauge whether that's something you want to do or not.
agreed. Nope,
Because
I
if you,
agree.
they could probably try to make the best scenario happen for you,
Mhm.
opposed to like you go grab the cheapest rod, cheapest flasher, so you're out like $300, then you go out
True.
and have a terrible time, then you end up selling your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can easily spend 1,000. I mean, in the first year that you if you're getting into it, easily $1,000 just to get gear.
Yeah, if you want to go all out, yeah,
Yeah,
it
you're
can
gonna
it
spend
can
about.
add up.
Yeah, it can add up. Just buy yourself little by little. I highly recommend that. I mean, certain things you don't need, certain things you do need. But like Fishing Kit said, go with somebody, a friend that does ice fishing a lot, has a lot of gear. Just buy maybe one or two things this year. Go with them, so they have a heater, they have a hut, or they have auger or whatever. Um, just get a pole for now, and maybe get a flasher, and just go with them. This year, make sure you enjoy it. Or not even a flasher, just get an auger and a pole. Go with them, and then maybe next year you buy a flasher. Then you maybe buy a hut or a flip over or whatever. Just slowly build up your gear. Highly recommend that. It's I don't know, man, because everybody always asks like, is it cheating? So that's what I would ask you. So this is the thing I get asked all the time. That's cheating. Nah, that's cheating, because I go,
Oh, the flasher thing.
yeah, it's electronics. Like Fishing Kit and I was saying, is that you can see your jig, you can your lure, you can see it moving up and down on these flashers. I mean, nowadays you got cameras. I mean, Fishing Kit has a camera, you can literally see it. The fish finders, you can see the fish, you can see the movements of them. Is it cheating, man?
Well, as far as it being cheating, I don't think so. It's more of a tool because you want to maximize your time on the water without electronics. Like I'll just go back to the whole information thing. It's feedback to you as an angler, like what's going on. If you're spending more time trying to figure out like how deep am I, you
Yeah.
got your those dropper weights and you're trying to figure out how deep you are. Like, oh, this is only 10 feet. With the flasher, you just put it in the water. Boom, I'm in 15 feet. I want to be in 20. Drill a few more holes, drop it down. Boom, you're in 20 feet. Like, all right, I want to fish this area. But if you don't have electronics, and if you kind of know where you want to fish, you're gonna have to manually figure out how deep you're fishing.
And the thing is, for a person like myself, it's very convenient to have electronics, and the reason being is because I don't get to spend the whole day when I get to go ice fishing or fishing in general. I get to go, maybe a couple hours at best, because family time or whatnot. It helps, like Fishing Kid was just saying, if I know this is not the spot I want to be at, and the electronics can literally help me within seconds versus me trying to do it manually and everything, finding the depth and all that. So it helps to have that. It's just I think I enjoy it more. A lot of people enjoy it more when they see, just their lure and fish in action. I
Yeah,
think
it's all feedback.
yeah, it is all feedback. And I tell anybody, you love video games, you're gonna love ice fishing, especially in this day and age with
Mm.
the flashers and the magnets. Now, my only other question is so there's new technology, everything, live scope, panoptics. Do you think that's cheating?
Mm.
So, and the reason why I say this, so if new people, I'm pretty sure all the ice fishing people know what that is. It's a electronic that can literally help you see if fish is 100 or 50 feet this way or 50 feet that way, in any direction, 360 degrees.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it shows you the size, the shape of the fish, the size of the fish. I mean, it shows a lot within the radius of where you're at, so it helps in regards to that. You think that's cheating? I don't know. I mean, I think it helps more. I don't know if it's
Um,
cheating.
it all comes back to information and feedback
Okay.
because, well, with what live scope does, it's kind of like a camera but uses sonar. Because with the camera, you're limited to what the camera can see, like visually. If the water's murky, the camera, all you're gonna see is murky water. But with sonar, water murkiness or water clarity doesn't matter because it's all based on sound. It's not like a visual thing. Like I was talking about the depth earlier. Just because you figure out you're in 20 feet and that's where you want to fish doesn't mean fish is gonna be there.
You still have to catch them, guys. At the end of the day, when people are telling me that's cheating, doesn't mean the fish bite, man. You might be on it. How many times have we been on top of fish? Like schools of fish, tons of fish. They're not biting, and we actually electronics could be more of a frustration than anything because you know that you're on top of fish. You
Yeah.
know you're right there. You know they're looking at your lure, and they just won't bite. But that's where I think comes into experience of changing your lure, changing presentation, all that stuff comes into play. But yeah, it can be super frustrating. I still get frustrated when that happens.
Yeah.
We're on top of fish, and it's just like, come on, it's right, bite.
Yeah, that's where it all comes back to the information and feedback. Because like the more, let's say, the more advanced electronics you have,
Yeah,
the more information, the more feedback you're gonna get. Like with a basic flasher, you at least be able to tell your depth and if there's a fish there, but you don't know what kind of fish. You don't know which way he's facing.
that's
And
true.
the more you step up, the details get finer. That's
Mhm.
the difference between the prices and flashers. Is because like the cheaper flashers, your target separation is
Yeah.
gonna be greater or more finer with the more expensive flashers.
Mhm. Well, you know what? When we'll do a podcast when we're out ice fishing, so people who are watching on YouTube can see, and we'll explain a little bit more to the people who are just listening and everything. When we do a podcast when we're actually on the ice to kind of to give everybody a little heads up what we're looking at and what we're doing on that. So, and then also I forgot to mention, dude, if anybody was wondering, like my background, did it change? That if people are watching on YouTube, yeah, I did because I had my other background on earlier. I totally
Oh,
forgot. So I forgot to switch it because I do have two podcasts. I forgot about that. So, but it's all good, man. It's all the same to me. Anything else, man? We've been talking for about an
yeah.
hour now.
I want to dive into the live scope thing more. I keep saying it, but the more information and the more feedback you have as an angler,
Mhm.
the easier it is going to be for you. I think that's why live scope is kind of like contentious because with your regular sonar, your flashers, you can tell there's a fish down there and how deep it is. But
Mhm.
with live scope, it can tell you which direction it is. A lot of times you tell what kind of fish it is, which way the fish is facing,
Mhm.
which direction it's moving. With the flasher, it's either there or it's not. But with the live scope, you're getting all this feedback. What it's doing, how it's reacting to your bait. It's just so much information that makes it easier for the angler. That's why I think some tournaments kind of ban it because you know exactly everything that's going on. There's basically no guesswork to it.
But it's not cheap.
It comes at a price, of course.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'd say they got a monopoly on that market because
yeah.
there's no equivalent Lowrance, Hummingbird, Vexilar. There's no
Markham, yeah.
equivalent, yeah, Markham.
Yeah.
There's no equivalent sonar technology that can compete with the Garmin Live Scope.
So
But that's why it comes at a premium. It's like
yeah.
$3,000.
So anybody, yeah, actually fact check us on that if anybody can, or just let us know. I wonder if they have that patent because
Lowrance is coming out with something similar, but it's
okay.
not like the resolution is not as good.
Okay, because that's what I was wondering. It's like, these other companies have just a great amount of designers and engineers who can create it too. But I'm just wondering if they have a specific. I bet you their models it's patented. It's obviously it's got to be patented. They're not, or else we would have seen it at least this year. I mean, it's been out what 2 years now, 2 or 3 years now. I think Live Scope.
Live Scope, I want to say it came out a couple years, two seasons ago.
Yeah, and like Fishing Kid said, man, it's like it's pricey, but the amount of information you get from that, I mean, it's well worth it. Because and the cool thing about them, you can use it in open water. You can put
Yeah,
it
the
in,
less guessing you have to do when you're fishing,
yeah,
the easier it is for you.
and
That's what it boils down to. And
and
with Live Scope, there isn't much guessing. You just
yeah,
point it, other than like pointing, oh, they're not to my right. Okay, I'll point it to the left. Oh,
yeah,
there they are.
yeah, and then like I said though, you can use it on your boat. You can do it ice fishing because that sucker, you can literally use it on open water. You can use it ice fishing, and it's just one of those things where it's all season. So in a way, it pays for itself because you were gonna get one if you had a boat. Even kayak, you can put it on a kayak too. I mean, same
Kayak,
thing.
ice
Yeah.
fishing. You're gonna,
So
if you want to maximize your time on the water,
yeah, I agree.
that's it.
If you can
Right
afford, if you can afford it,
if you can
get it.
afford it.
Yeah, if you can afford it, definitely get it. It would definitely save you a lot of time and effort in regards to searching for the fish and everything on that. So hopefully one day we can afford it. I don't know, man.
See,
Hey,
once the technology gets cheaper and the competitors catch up,
mhm,
that's when prices are gonna go down.
I agree.
But until that happens,
Yeah, it's gonna be.
because they keep rolling out new features too with the live
I
scope.
know.
Because now they got the
That's what I heard.
360.
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't seen it in action, but I might have to YouTube that. But
It's
I
like an
mean,
overhead view of your boat.
really,
Yeah, and you can see like all around you, like
uh,
where the fish are, what's down there in real
jeez.
time. In real time, So
Uh-huh.
you'll see when a fish moves, you'll see that traditional sonar. You won't see that.
Gotcha. Well, if anybody's working at Garmin or listening to this,
See, the
who
thing is,
is with,
I've never used live scope, but I've done my research.
yeah. So, but like I was saying, anybody listen? If you're from Garmin or you work for Garmin or anybody,
Yeah, give us a holler.
give us a holler. I'm just saying, we're not asking for much. We're not asking for any type of monetary things, but I definitely wouldn't mind trying your. We just gave you guys a great plug, honestly, Garmin. So if
But
you're listening,
let's take it back to okay. So you went out fishing with your buddy, who's a hardcore ice fisherman,
Mhm.
like MaPop fishing over here. And then you're deciding, okay, I think I do want to start getting my own stuff. Like as far as flashers go, I think it depends on your bodies of water. If you're fishing 5 to 30 feet of water, you probably get away with getting your entry level flashers, like was it LX3?
Alex,
What's
no, M1, dude. They have the M1
M1? Oh, M1.
from Markham, and then on the Vexlars they have the what is it, the eight?
FL8.
Yeah, FL8. I mean, you can get those. I think nowadays, I mean, honestly, you can get them from under 250. I mean, on this
I want
thing
to say
too,
like 300. I want to
but
say 300.
but it doesn't hurt to go used.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Gold used.
yeah, I mean, technically, it's just a flasher. I mean, to help you locate the fish. And if you want to get it used, you can get like Fishing Kid was just saying, you can get the M1s or VX1. That was the Markham before the M1s came out. They're same thing, but the
Yeah,
VX1 Pro or whatever, you can get those for. I mean, used. I think you can get them for around 200. And then same thing
yeah,
with the
200 bucks.
yeah, and just get them used. And then the best customer service, if you ever have issues with them, and you'll run into issues, you can always send it back to like Markham. They'll fix it for you and they get it back to you pretty quick. I think they charge whatever for shipping and then whatever to fix. But like I said, get it used if you budgetary reasons and everything. But like
Yeah, just figure out what kind of bodies of water you're fishing. If you're like in some deep water lakes, let's say you're fishing 50 to 100 feet, you're gonna have to get a stronger unit. Let's say
yeah.
M5 or whatever, because they got more power. So it takes more power to look into that deep water.
Yeah, I have a LX5i right now. I use that pretty much religiously wherever I go. I haven't had any issues with that. I do want to upgrade one day, but it's just why I don't really need to at the moment. It would be nice to have, like you're saying, a live scope and a
Yeah.
panoptics and all that stuff, but it's not necessary. But if you can save enough to get one, I'll definitely go for it. But like Fishing Kid said, if you're fishing local waters that are 30 feet or less depth wise, yeah, you'd be okay with any of those that he just
Yeah,
mentioned.
entry level flasher is fine.
Yeah, entry
But
level is just fine. I agree.
another thing that's getting popular the last couple years is people are using graphs.
So yeah, you like that for ice fishing?
Well, I mean, I got LX7. I only
Yeah.
use it in the graph mode.
Do you? No, I also wonder because some
Or
people
actually, I
want.
use a split because
Okay.
the thing with I like the graph is because you got history. Because with the
I see.
regular
I see.
flasher, there's no history. It just
True.
shows you what's down there at that moment.
Yeah, I see what you're
Then
saying.
with the graph traditional sonar, it's gonna show how the fish is like reacting. It's like going up and down, up and
Mhm.
down. You can see, you look back at the history, see what the fish is doing. Like let's say, you're not staring at the screen the whole time, especially if you're fishing with friends or whatever. Kind of just like, oh, blah 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 blah. Then you look over, like, oh, I was doing, like, you see what your lure was doing and then how the fish
Yeah.
were reacting. Then you just try to repeat that. And
Yeah.
like, okay, if I do this again, and then oh, the fish came back.
I agree with you. It definitely it just depends. But the graph, I guess that's true. It
Yeah,
shows
I
the
prefer the
history.
graph, but I
I
do both. I do
I
both.
I just like the traditional, honestly.
The flasher.
Yeah. What was that
See,
flasher
but the
mode?
thing with the
Just when it goes in a
flasher,
circle,
yeah,
the
the
circle.
dial,
Yeah,
the
the dial.
dial.
I prefer that. I do like the column one too, once in a while. But I prefer the dial. I don't know. That's just it's preference. But like
I
you
think
said,
the best combination is both. Have the dial for your whole water column,
mhm,
and then zoom in to like the last 10 feet or whatever for your graph.
yep.
Because with the thing about the graph is there's only so much up and down space for the whole water column on the graph. But with the dial, since it's in a circle, you fit like the whole water column on your screen.
Nope.
Because with the graph, you know, you have to zoom all the way out, so everything's a little tiny. Like
So I'm not rich like him that can afford assist electronic that can show both. I only
just
got
the
the
graph,
dial. Only
but
got the dial.
but people are using more
Yeah,
your boat sonars like your hummingbirds. Like
yeah,
was
I've
it the
seen that.
Helix 5, Helix 7 is getting really popular. The
Yeah,
thing with those is the advantage is you swap between your boat and ice fishing, and if you got your GPS on there, whatever waypoint you mark on your boat, or you go out to whatever lake, you find 10 brush piles, put them all on your chart plotter. I think that's the term for it,
yeah.
and then put that thing on your little ice fishing setup. Just go out to those same brush piles on the ice.
But that's the thing. Nope. It depends on what you want, and there's so many out there. So make sure you guys,
So many options.
yeah, there's so many options. Make sure you guys just search. I mean, do your research, and the biggest thing is like you say, go with somebody who's been out there, who's knows what they're doing. Go to the local bait shops, talk to people. I mean, search on the internet. You can hit reviews on every electronic. It is expensive. It's a great investment, especially if you're really loving it and you're getting into ice fishing. You love it. And you want to just get better and catch more fish. It's a must have at the end of the day once you really are getting into it, I think. So,
Yeah.
um,
Even
but
if you don't know anybody, like personally, like okay, not everybody has fishing friends. I understand.
yeah,
There's fishing groups all over Facebook.
yep,
Kind of put it out there, but also do your due diligence. Don't go with any random person. Kind of what's the word? Vet them. Like kind of go because you know it's Facebook. You go to their profile picture, like
true.
oh this guy says he'll take me fishing, but then you click on his profile, go through his feed. If he posts some questionable stuff or does some things, you're like, I don't know. Okay, maybe
You,
not this guy. Maybe
you
not this guy.
use your best judgment, man, at the end of the day. But no, you're right. It's there's a lot of knowledge out there on the internet if you guys want. I mean, YouTube is the greatest thing, especially for ice fishing nowadays. Oh, by the way, jump on it now, everybody. Ice fishing is coming up. I guarantee you, all the fishing YouTube channels that you love from people who in Canada, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Midwest, Denver, Colorado. I guarantee you right now, they're starting to post a bunch of ice fishing stuff because you got the itch. Everybody gets the itch. It's so weird. The difference between open water and ice fishing, there's a weird itch that comes when ice is around the corner or is here, and it's almost, especially in central Iowa, it's here and it's almost there. We're just waiting for the ice to just grow a little bit thicker. The anticipation's and it's insane in a way, I guess you can say. But it's weird, man. It's just I don't know. It's a own can't explain it until you get into it, right?
Yeah, ice fishermen are a little bit more dedicated.
I agree. I mean, we're the only people who would pack 100 150 pounds of gear and go fishing in 0 to -20. But I mean, I love it. I love fishing in 0 to -20. It's awesome. People look at me, I'm freaking crazy, but it's
I hate it, but I do it.
exactly. See, that's even worse. You're worse than me. Hey, I actually appreciate it. I love it. You're the one who goes, I hate this weather. It sucks, but you go and do it because you love the fishing, man.
It's the dedication, man.
You love it. So, other than that, man, hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about ice fishing because the season's coming up. We just wanted to do a quick episode, not a quick episode, but just want to do an episode and really get into the gear, how to get everybody ready for ice fishing, and everybody's excited because every time I post about ice fishing, everybody's like, "Yep, yep, yep, can't wait," and I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be excited to see Fishing Kit's YouTube channel, what he's going to be bringing this year through the ice. Hopefully, we hit some of the milestones and hit some of the stuff that we're looking to do goal wise. So,
Yeah, hopefully catfish. wipers, camping on the ice.
That's the
And
goal.
hopefully at least one or two new species.
All right, I'll do this, man. You can't. I don't think I can camp because boss will be like, nope, you gotta take care of the kids. But what I'll definitely do is you camp. I'll meet you at night. I'll fish throughout the night with you. I'll
Oh,
go
wow.
home, take care of the kids, and then I come back first crack of dawn in the morning. I'll fish with you, crack a beer, and make sure you do your donkey kicks that you owe. All right.
Sure. See, but the weird thing is, man, I cannot catch fish at night. I do not know what it is.
All right. Well, we'll find. See, that should be another goal this year. We're gonna catch some good fish. We got to have a good night bite one of these years or this year. All right.
Yeah.
We'll do
Yeah.
that. We'll do that. So, all right, man. Till next time.
All right. See ya. I think the best person, or not the best person, the best thing somebody, hold on, blah, blah, blah. Let me start over.
Hey, you better leave that in.
I'll put it in at the end.
All right. How are you gonna leave that in? You can't put that at the end. Just
Yeah,
leave it
yeah, I
in, man. Leave it in. Leave this whole conversation in right now.